Aerodrome Finance price update. It's now or never. My name is mikemadz. Let's start this video. Before I start the video, as always, please do me a huge favor. Every like matters, every comment matters, every single type of activity matters here, guys. The more people engage, the better for the video. The more people are going to see and hear about our projects, the better for the entire community. Appreciate you. Let's start. All right, let's stop wasting time. Let's jump straight into it. Especially, guys, yes, we have a massive recovery here now on our hands. Now, the most important question is this a sustained rally to new highs? Or is this simply a dead cat bounce? Super important question here, and you should navigate it accordingly, of course. Now, starting off with Aerodrome, of course, today, Aerodrome is the worst over. One of the most important questions you need to ask yourself right now: should you be taking profits on this bounce, or should you ride things to new all-time highs? Also covering a base project here that I'm still optimistic on. If we are in a bull market, this project has the potential to see new highs, which is a massive upside potential. The price prediction update here for Aerodrome, of course, for 2025. And of course, also do not make this mistake right now. Unfortunately, a mistake many investors will do, especially during this next couple of days here, which can lead them to get absolutely wrecked here. Something you should avoid at all costs. Okay, now starting off with Aerodrome, is the worst over here? Very important question. And in order to answer this question here, we need to take a look at the good, and we also need to take a look at the bad here. And then we need to decide, based on risk level here, if it makes sense here to ride things higher here, to take the risk here, to hope for higher prices, or to start actually taking off chips off the table here with this current bounce. Now, starting off with the good of Aerodrome, as you can see here, Aerodrome protocol-wise is doing absolutely well. Despite this downtrend, Aerodrome is doing what it's intended to do, like I always say, and we actually have positive developments here during this downtrend, which is very surprising here. First of all, of course, as always, Aerodrome being the liquidity hub of Base, of course, we have the #1 net deposits here on Base being on Aerodrome, so nothing has changed here. The trend is still Aerodrome is the liquidity hub of Base. Full stop. If you're bullish on Base, you simply have to be bullish on Aerodrome. Nothing has changed there. Now, the one interesting thing, which I already covered here in my last video, the tokenomics, which I'll cover shortly here, actually are starting to take a turn here. As you can see here, Aerodrome circulating supply reduces once again. So more Aerodrome is being locked than minted, which of course is good for tokenomics, which is good in theory for price appreciation here, as this helps with the token to regain its price easier than with the higher inflation. Long story short, okay? Again, Base accelerating the DEX experience. The DEX itself, the Aerodrome DEX itself is actually much more streamlined right now here than it was months ago. And of course, Base in general is leveling up here. A lot of hype is still around Base and Coinbase and Base. Nothing has changed with this entire theory. I don't have to repeat this, but again, very important to take a look at the good. And again, the grand scheme of things, nothing has changed here. And of course, new arrivals, new launches, everything is happening on Aerodrome here. So covering also the bad here. One thing most people don't have on the radar, especially if they're new to the crypto space and don't understand tokenomics. It's a very basic thing, but I want to put it on the radar here. And if the tokenomics, or if this circulating reducing of supply still goes in this fashion, then this is a non-issue. But if we tend to be in a bear market, this can potentially actually turn into a bigger problem. So I want to have this on the radar for most people. Take a look at Aerodrome here on the price chart of Aerodrome. As you can see here, price-wise, we all know we almost reached new all-time high, or barely reached a new all-time high recently. And then we formed this double top here, of course, going into this downtrend. This is, of course, taking a look at Aerodrome on a price perspective. So as you can see here, this peak we had 2024, we actually peaked just briefly above it here in this recent peak. Take a look at a different perspective here. If you take a look at Aerodrome market cap wise, this paints an absolutely completely different picture. And this is why inflation, of course, is super important, especially in bear markets, because as you can see here, the market cap of Aerodrome, we had a massive new all-time high here compared in market cap. This is why it's super important to take a look at how the circulating supply and how the AERO locks are gonna develop here, especially if we are in a bearish trend. This is all I'm gonna say here. Take a look at it. And now the question is, what does it mean basically? This means, guys, we need much more liquidity here in order to reach those all-time highs. Again, this price all-time high, if we want to reach it, we need much more liquidity. Why? Because more tokens are basically in circulation, of course. Okay, so have this on your radar. Something you need to always have on the radar here with many projects. This is basically the bad on Aerodrome. Tokenomics are not the best. In bull markets, it's a non-issue. In bear markets, this can turn in something bad. Okay, now take a look at the base project here, a project I like to cover on my videos, and nothing has changed. I want to cover this, especially guys, because I know a lot of people in my community still hold this token, are very bullish on the project, and more importantly, are using this platform in order to trade options. And most people know by now what I mean here. But again, why am I looking at this project? A project right now at this current stage needs to fulfill a couple things here in order for me to still be interested in it. First of all, currently it needs to be at a massive discount. Why? Because simply this means the upside potential is absolutely massive. If this bullish trend here is actually sustainable and we move into this last leg up here with a real alt season, tokens at a massive discount have massive upside potential. Okay, very important, of course, also the team needs to be building here. Many projects, unfortunately, are out of the picture here. I just want to name Starbase here. Starbase is gone. Nobody knows what happened. We farmed the airdrop for nothing. Many projects are out of the picture, not even posting anything, no marketing, nothing, just hoping for people to come back. Those projects, do yourself a favor, just ditch them. So the team needs to still be building, marketing needs to be there. I know most people don't like to talk about it, but guys, marketing is so huge in the crypto space. The project will not be visible on its own, okay? And of course then, one of the most important things actually, it needs to have a meaningful narrative here. If the narrative is some useless thing, then the potential here is of course not given. Now, of course, with that said, I'm talking about POC here. Now the chart looks absolutely horrific. No question about it, no talking about it goodly here. The chart itself looks absolutely horrific, but this doesn't mean here that the project itself is suddenly worse. Nothing has changed, you guys. If you were bullish up here, you shouldn't be bearish up here on POC protocol. And in the contrary, actually, guys, now is the time to slowly start descending into this project, because as you can see here, we are basically at the bottom here, okay? With sub-$1 million market cap since a couple of weeks here. Now we're even sub 500K market cap, but the protocol is doing what it's intended to do. People are using it. The project is building here. Nothing has changed. And of course, I'm super bullish on the team here. So POC protocol, especially the PEG token, has a high chance here of survival. And especially, why is it not moving here? Some tokens are up 50% from the lows. POC and some other gaming narrative tokens actually are not moving. Why? Because the narrative needs to come back into play and more confidence needs to come back into play, guys. Once confidence is back in the market, real confidence here, then those micro caps will play catch up, not financial advice. Okay, now take a look at the price prediction for Airdrome. As you might have noticed here, of course, if you hold the token, I got many messages here. Some people holding over $1 million in Aerodrome. Should I sell? And I told them, no, wait for a bounce. Never panic buy and never panic sell. We got the bounce, massive bounce here. But of course, you have to be realistic here. Does this look like, would it be realistic for Aerodrome to form this massive W here, going back to all-time highs in the short term? Guys, the real answer here is no. Whoever tells you, yes, we're going to have a V-shaped recovery, W pattern here, back to all-time highs within weeks, very unrealistic and something I would not actually plan for. But this does not mean here that Airdrome is in the process here of forming at least a lower high, maybe around the level of $1. This is definitely a possibility, and this can be a possibility for you to either exit Airdrome if you don't feel well anymore with this risk position, or this can be a possibility if you bought these lows here to have a nice decent trade here. And then we'll have to see, is this a sustained rally, okay, to new all-time highs, or is this simply a complacency shoulder for most altcoins leading into new lows? Okay, this is my price prediction. Is it possible for new all-time highs? Yes, 100%, especially if the Fed here turns its corner, if QE is somehow back on the table. Those things can still be absolutely undervalued at this current stage, and we still can have 10-15x's. This is the crypto space. Everything is possible. I'm not saying I'm a massive bear, but I just want to be realistic. Okay, now coming to the point here, do not make this mistake right now. One mistake most people will do right now, first of all, they will panic sold. Okay, they panic sold at the lows, when I clearly told you guys, I tell you basically live with my community, either here on the community section on YouTube or on my free Telegram, I told you never panic sell. But more importantly also, if you didn't buy this dip, never ever panic buy, guys. This is also the same story here. If you're looking at prices right now and you're panicking, having FOMO here, this is the wrong time to buy. Can we go up another 10, 15% in the short term? Yes, even 20, 30%. Is the likelihood of a rejection here more likely than at the lows? Yes, and is the risk higher right now, higher than at the lows? Yes, it is. You're simply FOMO buying, okay, because you think you missed out, and this is not a rational decision here. So the biggest mistake right now, in my personal opinion, even if we go higher, nobody knows. It's always easier to say it in hindsight. The biggest mistake right now is to FOMO buy. Always wait for a pullback. Nothing goes up in a straight line. You always get a second opportunity, even if it's a higher low, then you can buy back in. Do not FOMO buy right now, because then the possibility here of getting chopped up, you're buying high, suddenly the price moves against you, policy changes overnight as it is currently happening, and you end up actually with an even lesser portfolio than you started after this dip here. So do not make this mistake. Super, super important. If you need help here with trading, investing, especially if you're interested in a very, very interesting course, then check out my links in the description here. Again, Tago Research, I'm partner now, and I expect big things here, helping people to elevate their trading, okay? At the end of the day, guys, be bullish on yourself. That yields the most returns. Do your own research. Super, super important. Most important thing is, as always, don't get wrecked.
This is God-given, not from blue tops like Mars Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plane form in the sand, bidding castles out of thoughts in our head, late nights, no sleep in my bed, trying to see my dreams manifest. Look at that, now look at that, we nice. Put the past on ice.